In my quest to leave a mark on the culture and make hip-hop proud, I'd like to welcome you all to another episode of The Essence. The Essence is presented by Tent TV and powered by Validated Magazine. Today, I have a Laurelton, Queens legend in the building. His writing and freestyling abilities are top-notch. He is someone that has consistently kept his skills sharp for about 40 years, man, in this rap game. He was the front man for the LA Posse, the Symbolic 3, and Main Source. He even defeated the legendary Melle Mel in the battle for world supremacy at the now defunct New Music Seminar back in 1988. He played a major role in suggesting to the iconic LL Cool J what his stage name should be. He's traded bars with the likes of Jadakiss, SHEEK, LOUCH, Cool G Rap, and a bunch more. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I'm talking about, then pull up your Google and do your research. Let's welcome to the Essence, the one and only, the Playboy, Mikey D.
Nah.
What's good, B?
Man, we here, baby. We here. I'm glad to be here, man. You know?
Yeah, man. So, Laurelton, Queens, man. I remember there used to be a bowling alley over that way.
The bowling alley was in Rosedale, right on Merrick Boulevard and Brookfield, Merrick and Brookfield Boulevard.
Okay, yeah. I remember back in the day.
Hook Creek, Hook Creek. Yeah.
I'm from Hollis, so I remember we used to go over there to go bowling and shit like that. Yeah. Definitely, no doubt. So tell me, man, I know how it molded me, man. You know what I mean, as a youth. But how did Queens mold you as a youth, man?
I mean, when I was coming up in Queens, man, it was like it was a mixed block. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, back then, you know, the neighbors were your neighbors. Your neighbors were like your family. Back then, your next door neighbor was qualified to whip your behind if you were stepping out of line. Everybody's doors was open. I mean, the kids knew each other. The parents played poker. All of that type of stuff. So back then, it was a neighborhood, and it was diverse. You know what I mean? We had white, we had Puerto Rican, we had blacks on the same block. You know what I mean? Man, listen, it was just the good old days. Come on, I was born in '67, so I came up in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We outside. We didn't have none of this.
Nah, for real, we ain't have none of that.
We was outside playing run, catch, and kiss, freeze, tag, and red light, green light.
All that.
So that's basically how I came up. You know, I was kind of like a shy kid, you know what I mean? But I wasn't really into the streets because I was raised by my grandparents. So they were strict and they weren't strict. It was like good cop, bad cop. Nana was the bad cop. My grandfather was the good cop. You know what I mean? But that's who raised me. So yeah, man, I had a pretty decent childhood, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Same here, man. I'm a 67 baby too, man. I came over I was in the Bronx at first, and I came over to Queens in 79. So we moved to Queens in 79. So yeah, so everything about hip hop that I learned and fell in love with, like I discovered it in the Bronx, but by the time we moved to Queens is when it really started to take effect on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely. What's your earliest memory of hip hop, man?
Man, listen, I remember it like it was yesterday, man. It was 1979. Me and my man, D-Money, they call him Ever-Loving Kid Ice, one of the members of my very first group. Before I even knew what hip-hop was, he's from Harlem, you know what I mean? But his grandmother lived next door to where my grandparents raised me, so he would come out every summer. And this one particular summer in 79, he bought a cassette tape, and he had his brother's big radio. He bought it out on the steps, and he was playing a tape, and it had Grandmaster Caz on it rapping.
Right. Yeah.
And that was the first time I heard it. And from the time I heard it, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So D-Money introduced it to me. And yeah, he brought it to Queens from the Bronx, man. It was on and popping. I never looked back after that, bro.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, right after hearing that, later on, I went back next door and I wrote my very first rhyme. And when I finished the rhyme, my grandmother, my Nana, was the first person to hear me rap. And
That's dope.
she said I sounded pretty good, you know? So I got my first co-sign from my nana.
That's all right. That's the best co-sign in the world right there.
Word up.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and I know I had seen a couple of interviews and you talked about hearing Grandmaster Caz's rhyme Yvette. And that was like I remember that rhyme, and I remember that tape too. So yeah, that was powerful, man.
That's crazy because he had the Yvette rhyme, and the first rhyme that I wrote was Kim. So
okay.
you know what I mean? I used his blueprint, the storytelling, and all that, and made it sound as believable as possible because I wasn't getting none back then, but I made it seem like I was, you know?
Not in 79.
I was only like 12, man. You know,
exactly.
Going on 13.
Yeah, I'm a 67 baby too, so I know, definitely. No doubt. So yeah, man, I gotta shout out the boy Geechee Dan. You know what I mean? For plugging the contact in. You know what I mean? I remember growing up around Geechee. He probably don't remember a lot of shit, but I remember growing up around him, and I remember seeing him kind of challenge LL to a battle one day, and that didn't turn out too good for him.
I know it didn't.
You know,
I know it didn't.
But he's always been a staple, and he's always been a part, you know, of representing this culture to the fullest, man. So definitely shout out to the boy Geechee.
Salute Geechee. Word up. Yeah. That's a fact. That's my man right there.
Yeah, I know.
I remember when I met Geechee. Geechee was rapping on 90.3 FM. This was when Dr. Dre.
WBAU. Yeah, Adelphi.
And I called in because I used to be up there all the time, and I got to talk to him. I was like, "Yo, you dope," and he wound up coming to meet me up at Poppin' Kim's on Merrick Boulevard.
Poppin' Kim's with the cold 40s. Yeah.
You already know that was my stage right there.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. So we know I've heard the story before. I'm sure some people have heard it, but maybe some people haven't. Tell me the story about why LL Cool J gives you the credit for helping him create his stage name. Tell me that story so our viewers can hear it from your point of view.
Well, like I always say, you know, it was a suggestion that happened to work. It was a suggestion that did really well, you know. When me and L met, when we first met, his name was Jay Ski. I was already running the streets, you know. I was already making a credible reputation for myself as far as being this young battle rapper, you know. My name was Playboy Mikey D at the time. Mm-hmm. And at that particular time, I had a bunch of friends like Ever Loving Kid Ice, who introduced me to rap, Lovable Little B. We had Romantic Lover Snow, Lover Boy TC. So everybody had a nickname. Cool J, his name was just Jay Ski. So when we started hanging out, one day he came through and he was like, "Yo, Mike, I changed my name. I changed my name from Jay Ski to Cool James." I was like, "Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Cool J, Cool James." I said, "But damn, you need a nickname or something in front of that, you know, blah, blah, blah." So we was probably going to get a beer because I know we was on Merrick Boulevard, and I probably was like, "Yo, you always talking about the ladies loving you. How about some ladies love Cool J or something like that?" And from that point on, he was like, yeah, that's it. And then the LL came from, once he got on to Def Jam, they thought it was too long for the labels and all of that, but he wanted to keep it. So the acronym LL, ladies love. So it was a suggestion that worked out.
No doubt. And 40 years later, man, he's still representing the culture to the fullest and definitely an icon, man. You know, a staple for absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
I remember throwing rhymes back and forth with LL in 118 Park on Farmers Boulevard one day. And I ran out of rhymes. I ain't even gonna lie.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I was so impressed with L when I first met him, because, you know, we had mutual friends that would talk about me and him, and they wanted us to connect. And when we finally met, we didn't battle. We kind of compared notes. So I was impressed because he had the same energy I had. He had the same growl, the same voice texture. The cadence was similar, and we had bags of rhymes, man. So it was like he's just like me. He lives with his grandmoms. I live with my grandmas.
Yep.
It was one of those things. And I only got him beat by a couple of months. Like my birthday is November and his is in January. So,
right.
You know, we the same age, but I got him by a couple of months. So everything was so parallel with us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The only difference was he wanted to be in the street and I wanted to be in the street. You know, that's when we went this way. That's all.
No doubt. Definitely. So you've been in a lot of groups, man. Symbolic 3, rest in peace to your man, POSSE from the LA Posse. You ended up taking Large Professor's place in the main source, of course. Tell me about your evolution as an MC as you honed your skills making records as opposed to battle rapping as you came up through the ranks in these groups.
Well, one thing with me, I never changed. I always remained in my lane. I never sacrificed my character or my happiness as an MC to be something else. You know what I mean? I always stayed in that pocket. Like for instance, with the Symbolic 3, the only reason I wound up rapping with them is because back then I used to be like a master of parody. When somebody would come out with a record, I would take his record, flip it into my own words and make it funny. Like the first one I did was "It's Yours." I did "Your Drawers," and then Houdini came out with "Big Mouth," and I had "Big Head," you know. And then with the Symbolic 3, one of the girls was my girlfriend. She was in this group, and I was dealing with a manager at the time, Arthur Armstrong, who used to own the Ecstasy Garage, and he knew Jerry Bloodrock from Reality Records, and that's when the show came out from Dougie Fresh, and that's when people started doing the answer records, this, that, and the other. So he said it would be a great idea if we had some girls answer that record and bring that record out on the same label. So it just so happened, you know, I'm with this girl and she got a group and I do that. So I wrote No Show. So, you know, certain parts I was rapping on it and all of that. But, you know, that was me being me creatively with the parodies. With Mikey D and the LA Posse. Originally, LA Posse was supposed to be Boom Bash. That was the name of the clique because that was the name of the crew we ran with in the street. But management thought it would be, you know, it might not be a good idea to use that street name in the industry because it might bring some negative attention, this, that, the other. But we wanted to let people know who we were and where we were from. So, you know, anybody from LAURELTON, they know that means LA. If you're from Queens, you know, LA. Everybody thought we were from the West Coast, which is cool. And back then, we used to run with our posse. That was our clique. That was our crew. So LA Posse was the crew, and it was also Boom Bash. And with Paul C and those guys and Johnny Quest, we never really tried to make commercial records. Every time you hear me rap, I was a little edgy. I was a little harder than your normal commercial rapper. I still had that street edge. I wasn't polished because I was drinking a lot of 40s at the time. So I was already on I'm going to keep it real stuff before keeping it real was a thing. Because I never wanted to be transformed into something that I wasn't because I just didn't believe in that. So I always stayed myself, even with the main source thing. If you really listen to the song, I said, "Here comes Mikey D with the main source."
Yeah, you did.
I never said, "Here comes Mikey D and I'm main source and I'm taking Large Professor's spot." Now, I said, "Here comes Mikey D with the main source," because I didn't want to take his spot. I didn't even know what was going on with them at the time. I just wanted to be a part of that crew because it was full circle. These guys were mentored by a brother that was down with my group. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it would be a dope, something dope for Paul C. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this is the guy that I started with. Now he's with the guys that I mentor. You know what I'm saying? I thought it would be dope. That's why you never heard me really try to make a hit record with main source. Everything on there, you can hear the battle stuff. You know what I mean? Definitely. So, but that's just me. But now, like the evolution now, this is my redemption because
Mhm.
I don't drink anymore. I'm
We get into
happy.
that. I got some
Yeah,
questions for that. All of
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. But I'm saying, look, I'm happy as hell,
Yeah.
and I don't
Yeah.
have anything else to prove as far as being a dope rapper because I did that with the contests, and I
Right.
already proved that. Now it's time for me to prove that I can make some hit records. So I
Okay.
just started making records. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Okay.
And I feel even greater now with the
That's
pen.
dope. That shit is so dope, bro. For real. um. To stay in that time frame a little bit. Now, a lot of people probably don't even know or don't remember that you traded bars with SHEEK, LOUCH, and Jadakiss on
Yeah,
Set It Off, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And they were still going by the Warlocks around that time.
Yeah,
That was early. That
yeah,
was 94.
yeah.
And that was on the Fuck What You Think, the Main Source album. So
That's right.
you literally traded bars with some of the best in the business, including L. Tell me, at this point in your career, or at any point, in your career, was there ever any MC or producer that made you want to step your pen game up?
LL always made me want to step my pen game up. Um, my younger brother Lotto always makes me want to step my pen game up.
Okay.
Um, other than that, I really don't. I don't like to listen to a lot of different people. So
Mm-hmm.
what I try to do instead of competing with them is I compete with me yesterday.
Okay.
Like the dude that used to the rhymes that I wrote yesterday, I try to top those today.
Mm-hmm.
Switch the cadence up, reinvent myself and stuff like that. Because even with like Sheek and them, we were introduced to each other. I never knew who they were. They didn't know who I was. We met in the Bomb Squad's basement.
Mm-hmm.
K Cutting brought us together. And because I was the front man of Main Source, we wanted to do another live at the barbecue type of thing. And he wanted me to listen to these guys, And I fell in love with them as soon as I heard them because they had that street edge and they was hungry like I was hungry. Man, we just was rhyming the whole time. And we never knew they were going to become the LOUCH. They
Right.
didn't know I was Mikey D. It was just a mutual respect
Okay.
off of this rap thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but nah, nobody really never ever made me want to step it up except for like L and them. Always kept my pen sharp. Like they say, steel sharp and steel. So
Absolutely.
cats like that, that's who keeps my pen sharp.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Definitely. Um, in that time era when you were becoming part of Main Source, um, you know, that from what I read online, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but did that happen through Jeff Redd, the R&B singer?
Oh yeah.
And that's
Jeff,
the same Jeff Redd that brought Mary J. Blige to Puff, right?
yeah. Jeff is he's so damn humble and just nonchalant. Like
Mm-hmm.
all right, all right, Mike, you got it. See what it is I used to hang with a brother named Mike Beasley. He's a great dude, man. He was managing me at the time. Mike Beasley was the guy that used to run the numbers, and he used to drive the white Lincoln with the blue rag top and all of that.
Right,
So
right.
while I'm riding shotgun, instead of listening to the music, I'm freestyling. I'm the cassette,
Right.
But his cousin was the brother that was married to Melba Moore,
Okay.
Charles Huggins.
Okay.
Charles and Bo Huggins of Hush Production.
Okay.
So they had
Right.
this office in Manhattan, and we used to go there all the time to just hang out, you know what I mean? And this particular day, we were downstairs and they had this grand piano down there, right? And somebody was tapping on the piano, and I'm just rhyming, I'm just freestyling, and
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Redd walked through. He was like, yo, that sounds good. He said, yo, I know a group. He said, I know a group. They're looking for a rapper. He said, they're already established.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'm just going to give you this. I'm just going to give you this this address and this number. So make sure you call and go visit them. So me and Mike Beasley, we was like, yo, thanks, bro. We ain't think nothing of it, but we followed through the next day. And sure enough, it was Sir Scratch, and we met at Tandy Weems' house, and they got K-Cut on the telephone with me, and I said a rhyme to him, and it was a done deal after that. The next week, I was on my way to Canada. Thank you, Jeff Red.
Thanks, Jeff Red, for the plug. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, he's definitely the plug.
No doubt, no doubt. So after a while, man, you took a break from rapping and from the industry in general. Why did you take that break, and what put the spark or the battery back in you to make you really go hard again with this MCing like you're going today?
Well, what it is this is just something in me. Hip hop is a part of me. Hip hop, as many times as I tried to put the mic down, it's like a crack pipe. It always calls me back. And I don't care how long I'm inactive, I can still pick the pen right back up and just go right in. So sometimes I'm inspired by, if I might have heard something that inspired me, didn't have to be rap, it could have been a song that inspired me. But most of the time, I'm inspired off of life. I'm inspired off of experience, like stuff that I go through. I have to write it because that's the only way that I know how to express myself. Because when I was young, I used to bottle everything up because I didn't know how to let it out. But when I found hip hop, that's the way that I let it out. Like the first time I took a break, it was because POSSE, his untimely death. We just finishing up our album. Everything is about to hit the fan. We're about to be that shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. And then POSSE gets murdered in his sleep. Wow. Come on, man. So that kind of threw me off. And at the same time, we were going at it with Def Jam, because that's the same time my brother L came out with the Bigger and Deffer album, and he had the other LA Posse producing him. Now, us as the LA Posse, like I said, I wanted to be in the street, not industry, so I never learned the business. We never trademarked our name or copywritten our name. We just jumped out and came out like that. These guys took care of the business, although they came out after us, and it made more sense because they're from Los Angeles, LA, boom, boom. They did all of the paperwork correctly. And because they were on Def Jam had the machine behind them. They had Columbia. Sleeping Bag was still an independent label. They didn't want to fight the lawsuits because they didn't have it like that.
Yeah, they couldn't fight
so
that.
They wanted us to drop our name. We lost Paul. All of this stuff is coming down at me all at one time. I got this new baby and all this, and it just made me take a back seat for a little while. You know? And then at the same time, the gangster rap was coming into play. You know what I'm saying? The NWAs was coming out. And like, I could rap like that, but I just didn't feel like that was me. Like, why am I going to talk about killing people? And I don't do that. Like, I kill people with rounds. I don't even have a gun. You know what I mean? So I just took a back seat. But then, you know, I moved to Miami for a little while. I was down there with my boy TC, and we made some records out there. We was running with Luke and Marquise, you know what I mean, from the Two Live crew. You know, and the lawyer that we had wound up just putting a record out on us, and that kind of gave me a new spark, because I was down there as Cordless Mike because I didn't want people to know I was from New York, because you know the Miami base and New York, they didn't like each other. So if I wanted to fit in, I had to be a little different and change it up a little bit. So I did that for a while, but then Hurricane Andrew came through. That hurricane chased me out of Florida, and I'll be honest with you, I've never been back to Miami since. And that was like 92. I ain't been back since, man. You know? And then I was working a regular 9 to 5 doing the security thing, and that's when I was hanging out with Mike Beasley and just rhyming and all of that. And then Jeff Red came through, the Main Source thing. We went through all of that. Things didn't work out because, you know, whatever issues their management had with the label at the time, it didn't work out. And the label wound up keeping the album and putting it out years later. And I'm like, here we go again.
Typical industry stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I fell back, and then like in 96 or something, I just said, I'm gonna just start rhyming again. And you know what I mean? And then I just started going for the neck and all of that. And that was that. Then I started getting used to the 9 to 5 thing. And when I was working in Kennedy Airport, I was doing security out there, driving the cars, and I started working in the office for years and all of that.
Right.
I didn't have the time to do the hip hop and the job thing at the same time, and drink. I just didn't have enough time to juggle all that until I moved. Came up here, stopped drinking. I put
Where
one in the
bag.
now?
Where you located now?
I'm in Wappingers Falls, where they had that big explosion today. It was a big explosion. But I moved up here, and I got a job with you see the time I'm on right now with you, right?
I see it.
So I got a job that I love. It's like and this is Pepsi. This is the real Pepsi.
Right.
But my position is just dope. I got my own office. So what I did was I invested in the Isotope Spire Studio. So I got a little portable studio. Man, I write rhymes and do my music. I got my speakers in my office and all of that. So I get to do everything that I want to do. Like with the music, my lady supports it. I don't drink. It's like life couldn't be better right now. And I'm better in the age that I am now.
Right.
I'm way better than I was back then because I'm in a better space in life.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I can identify, man. Like you said, I heard you, I don't know if it's still 11 years, but I know I heard you say you stopped drinking 11 years ago. First, let me say congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in my 8th year, so I definitely feel you, and I know exactly where you're coming from. If you don't mind me asking, what were some of the things that led up to you making that decision to quit, and what was the final straw that pushed you over the edge, and you just said, you know what, I'm just done?
I'm gonna tell you, man, my whole thing, I was always raised not to be a quitter. So every time I would try to quit, I'd be like, I'm no quitter, man. Give me that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, man, look, I got a DWI, I got a DWI. I bought a brand new car. The day that I drove it off the lot, I got a DWI. Had to put the car up for a while and this, that, and the other. Man, I had to go to all of these programs and all of that, alcohol programs. I was still going to those things, drinking too. Nothing was stopping me. I wasn't ready to stop. See, I tried the programs. I tried the AA. I did the church, and I was going to these places drinking like a wine cooler or something this big or something. You know what I mean? And I met this woman, man. And what's crazy about it is I met the woman that I'm still with right now.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was like it hit me like, damn. I found a jewel right here. I found a gem in this woman. Like, she makes me happy. I make her happy. We just have fun. We laugh. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
But sometimes I get this attitude and shit because, I said, you know what? I got a choice, and I had to think about it. I was like, I can either keep drinking and F this up, or I could keep this and just be happy and do what I got to do. So that was the choice. I wanted to stay in that pocket over here with this woman.
Right.
And what's so crazy about it, she used to drink socially, like when she came home, she would have a glass of wine. Or like on the weekend, we go to a bar, have a drink and whatever. When I said I wanted to stop, I didn't ask her to stop. She stopped as well, just to support me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I've never looked back since then, and it never been so easy.
Right.
It never been so easy to stop doing that, to do something that I really, really love. You know what I mean? So, and I don't look back at all, and I not regret it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got unconditional support like that, it makes it a whole lot easier. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I tell people, man, the programs and all of that stuff, it don't work unless the person is ready to stop. That's when he's gonna stop. If he ain't ready, you're just wasting a whole bunch of money.
Just wasting time. Yep. Because
That's
you're gonna go right back and you're gonna go back and do the same thing. You gotta be ready to stop and turn over a new leaf.
So I was definitely ready. And believe me, man, since I've quit, I've been through tragedies, man, tragedies after tragedy after tragedy with my family. Like, but I never once looked back at the bottle. And like my couple of living, like surviving family on my mother's side will tell you that I broke the cycle. Because everybody in my family, my mother's side, my father's side, everybody got their sip on. I broke the cycle.
That's dope.
Word.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing, bro. Absolutely, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I salute you for that. Absolutely. We're gonna backtrack just a quick minute.
Yeah.
New music seminar, Battle for World Supremacy, 1988. Legendary Melle Mel. I heard you call Melle Mel the Randy Savage of hip hop. And I fucking lost it, bro. I started that because as soon as you said it, I saw the image in my head and I was like, that's definitely Melle Mel, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I heard Grandmaster Caz tell a story too, you know, about how, you know, Mel was egging you on and everything, and he wanted to try to prove his bit of having the belt from the last year, and he wanted to defend it, and you know, you was trying not to. You was more like, nah, let me respect the elder, let me respect the legend, and he kept egging you on. So at that point, were you kind of nervous, or did the battle skills and the New York attitude just take over in the moment and you just let it fly?
I thought it was a setup. I thought the whole thing was set up. I thought it was going to be like, yo, they want to get this belt back or whatever. And my whole thing was, I'm taking this back to LA, LAURELTON, Queens, and I'm showing off. No, I'm not battling for no belt or none of that. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. He kept on poking the bear. He kept poking the bear. Excuse me. And I was trying to show him respect and all of that. And you got to remember, I'm from Queens. I'm from the new school, and I'm this year's champion. He's the official champion. He's from the Bronx, and he's from the old school. So it's already.
And this is 1988 when New York was a lot different than it is now.
Right. You had the bridges over this out and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happened is he basically bullied me into a battle because he tried to make me look like a sucker. And the crowd, yo, Mikey, yeah. And after hearing all of that I just had enough. And
right.
I don't think he understood, like, that battle stuff, that's the cloth that I'm cut from.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not scared to battle you. I'm trying to give you a chance to bow out gracefully and leave this alone. Because to myself, I'm like, he really can't be serious. I still think this is an effing setup, but he keep running his mouth. I'm going to have to give it to him. Right, you know what I mean? And what happened, happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And like the first rhyme he said to me was like a educational rhyme. He was preaching and, you know, nah, man, it's a battle, man.
It's a battle. Trying to take your head off. Yeah.
I'm going for blood. And that's what Caz was saying. Oh, Melle Mel's rhyme was better. Yeah, but we were battling. Right. I could have compared rhymes with him and spit some red, black, and green rhyme, but no. Right. We battling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your job is to move the crowd.
Yeah.
Not teach nobody nothing in that moment. Right.
That's right. And that's exactly what I did.
I just feel it. Yeah.
And he really looked like a wrestler, man. He had the tight shorts on, he had the muscles, and Grandmaster Caz had on a referee shirt, man. A black and white striped shirt. Right. Come on, man. That's why I thought it was a setup. I'm like, I'm not doing this WWF stuff.
Oh man, yo, that's a classic moment in hip hop, bro. Definitely. And I know he walked away with the belt, but I know you ended up getting one on the back end, and you still got that today. So congratulations on that too, bro.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Give me, from your opinion, one pro and one con about hip hop from the 80s and 90s and hip hop today.
Internet, independency, business. Because the cats from the 80s, cats like myself, there's a lot of us. We basically were nailed to the cross in order for these guys to make it today.
Right.
We the ones that got all of the bad contracts. We the ones that, you know what I'm saying? We had to go through the hardships of the business in order for you guys to go on the smooth paved road, you know? So, and we didn't have this internet back then. God, man, if I had the internet back then, what?
Would have been a different
These
game.
guys can, yo, they make videos on their phones now. They be recording on their phones. We doing this now. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm kind of sorry that I didn't learn more about the business. You know, like I said, L did everything that he was supposed to do. He learned the business and paid close attention to everything. Me, I didn't really care about it like that. I just wanted to be the dopest rapper in my hood.
Right.
I exceeded that mission because I conquered those streets, and I went from borough to borough and made it all the way to Soul Train. So
you damn sure did.
I did pretty well.
You damn sure did. You know, and L made a, you know, he made a very valid point in one of his recent interviews too. You know, he lucked up with Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin because they didn't tax him on the record deal. You know what I mean? Like they gave him a fair deal at that time, which didn't happen to a lot of people. You know, a lot of people walked in and signed their life away for 5, 6, 7 albums or whatever it was. And by the second or third album, that was it. And you ended up owing the label money. And, you know, it was a horrible situation for a lot of people.
Yo, I didn't know nothing about no writers' royalties. I didn't know nothing about publishing. They used to, they used to make you sign your publishing away as soon as you signed with them. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We were so happy to be on vinyl. I had platinum tapes in the street before I made records, but you know, I'm thinking, damn, if our tapes is banging like this, imagine when we make records. But the business, and like they always say, show business is 10% show and 90% business.
That's right.
So yeah, man, I wish I would have learned more. But I mean, it's all good because it molded me into what I am now.
No doubt.
You know, I ain't letting nobody, all that age and all of that stuff, that's dead to me, man. My job now is to motivate my peers and inspire the youth, man. I'm not competing with nobody.
There you
go.
But
I'm you know, I'm here for that purpose, man.
Right. That's what's up. Definitely. Tell me how important it is to have a 9-to-5 or any kind of job, man, to keep stability and to fund the dream.
Yeah, I'm just saying, especially these younger cats, man. These younger cats, they should do it because they still living with moms, man. Yo, get a job, invest in some microphones and some clothes into your brand or whatever, and you'll be Gucci. You know what I mean? A cat like me, see, I'm getting older, you know, and I don't want no toothaches, and I don't want nothing to go wrong with my health. So hip hop don't have no medical coverage.
You got that right. Yep.
So my job takes care of my medical coverage. You know, I got enough time off where I could go on tour. I could do all of that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the JOB keeps the lights on. JOB, everybody got to have a plan B, man. And I always, you know what I'm saying? Rap is just something that I love. Rap is what I love. And I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. But the JOB, I'm going to hold that down too. Now, if something in the rap thing comes, something bigger comes along, hey, I'm with that too. But I'm always going to be able to work as well. And I don't have an ego that's big enough to say I don't need a job. Nah, I'm not one of those dudes. Like these cats around here at work. Matter of fact, man, if I brought this into my office, I got 2 platinum plaques hanging up in my office. So the young guys that work here, they be like, damn, Mikey D, why are you working here? I said, because I got to pay the bills, man. Same reason you working here. So they respect me. They respect me, man. And that's all I want. I take the respect anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Tell me about your distribution company, Pass the Torch. What are you currently working on? Is there a new company that you're under? What's going on with you on the independent side right now?
It's funny you mention that because I just got off the phone right when I was getting ready to log on here. I was on the phone with Rob Schwartz. Rob Schwartz is owner of Who Mag.
I know
Schwartz is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's also the one that hooked me up with the Pass the Torch thing, this, that, and the other. Now, originally, I did Pass the Torch a couple of years ago just to Pass the Torch was basically I wanted to bridge the gap and stuff like that, and I wanted to put music out when I wanted to put music out, and I wanted to go against the grain. But I haven't been putting music out consistently because I be all over the place. You see me, I be moving. So I haven't been able to do that. So just now, I was telling Rob that what I want to do with Pass the Torch is I want to switch it to Kings from Queens. Okay. Kings from Queens distribution. That's what I'm representing right now. This whole Kings from Queens movement. Like I want to support some of our older brothers and sisters from Queens, like because there's like, man, listen, there's like a suitcase full of gems in Queens that people don't know about, and these are the people like me that got nailed to the cross early. Right. So I wanted to do that for them. I'm also working with Herb Middleton. Herb Middleton is a great producer. He was down with Teddy Riley and P. Diddy and all of them hit makers and all of that. And he has a company called Moontown Records and Publishing. So I'm working with him on some things too. And so that's it. Actually, we're working on my album right now, Redemption. So nice. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Any idea when you gonna plan to drop that Redemption?
Well, I know we got a joint coming out on January 20th, which is my mother's birthday and the day she passed away. So I have an anniversary celebration joint for her. It's going to be like the new Dear Mama out this piece. Got that. And then Redemption, I'll say maybe spring to summer of 2024. With the whole album Redemption to be ready. But I want to do something different. I don't want to just give the people music. I want to give them the experience. You know what I mean? So I might have to let the album be the soundtrack to the autobiography, the audio book / film or documentary. I need to give the full experience because the music, you'll be able to feel it through the music, but to see it and really understand it, you'll understand what my redemption is.
Right. Absolutely. I'm all for that, definitely. I'm a big audio book fan, so that's definitely something I would tap into. Absolutely.
Right.
What has been your most memorable moment as an artist so far in your life?
Soul Train. Soul Train. Bro,
absolutely.
being able to kick it with Don Cornelius and give his autograph.
The original Soul Train. The original Soul Train.
Yeah. But this is when he was first beginning to get sick. So when we went on is when he had weekly Celebrity Stars.
Okay.
Hosting the show.
This is before transition into that. Right.
So So I went on. John Witherspoon, rest in peace. John Witherspoon, Pops, was the host.
Okay, got you.
So he interviewed us and all that. Don Cornelius was there though, because he was still the executive producer. You know, and being able to chop it up with him and getting his autograph for my mom's.
That's dope.
That was
dope.
Yo.
That's dope.
What? Yeah. I'm on Soul Train.
Hell
From
yeah.
Poppin' Kim's the Soul Train, baby.
That ain't monumental. I don't know what it is, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Absolutely. All right, my brother. Last question, man. Hip hop has just officially turned 50 years old this year. With that being said, what does hip hop mean to you?
Everything, man. Hip hop means everything to me, man. I walk it, talk it, speak it, teach it, eat it, whatever. You look at me, you're looking at hip hop. This is what hip hop created, man. Hip hop raised me, So hip hop means everything to me. I represent hip hop to the fullest. It's my religion. It's my culture. It's everything. It's everything.
Yes,
The
indeed.
streets raised a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop raised me. Hip hop taught me how to maneuver through the streets. Hip hop gave me a voice. Hip hop taught me how to express myself. Hip hop is also my therapy. When I'm down, I write about it. Whatever's on my mind, I know how to channel in through hip hop. So hip hop is everything to me, bro.
Absolutely. Mikey D, man, thank you so much for tuning in with me, you know, tapping in on the essence, man. This is also going to be in Validated Magazine. I got your photographs and everything, man.
Dope.
It's truly a pleasure, man, when I get to link with a legendary dude from Queens that came up through the ranks and did everything, you know, that I kind of did, and saw the people that I saw and was in those same kind of circles. And I remember performing at like USA Roller Rink and places like that when I was rapping and stuff and opening for Sparky D and all these different types of things that we did when I was growing up, man. So you understand that.
Yo, it's crazy that you mentioned those two things. USA Roller Skating Rink was the first place I lost the battle. I lost the battle to Father Tahim from 40 Projects.
Okay.
So he taught me how to he taught me how not to be so aggressive on the microphone and toy with the crowd and your opponent. He showed me that. And you mentioned Sparky D. Me and Sparky D together, we're on Moontown with Herb Middleton, because my sister Sparky, she happens to be the one that introduced me to Herb. And also tomorrow, which will be from this recording, tomorrow will be November 3rd. K Slay's rolling 200 deep drops. Sparky's on there and I'm on there. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's fire. That's definitely dope. Yeah, man. And I even remember opening up for LL at the Flamboyant in Queens. We opened up for him. It was me, my man Suleiman, and Jeff from the group Intro. We was the group at the time, and we opened up. We battled that night, and we lost against Rozelle. Yeah.
You know what? Do you know what Rozelle's first record was beatboxing?
Nah, what was his first?
He was on Mikey D and the LA Posse. I had a record called Dawn on side. This is 87 on side B of My Telephones. A record called Dawn. It's the first time Rozelle beatboxed. And then we also have a record called I Get Rough. Using the Brick House music. That bass line is Rozelle's voice.
Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, he beat us. He beat us with that traditional. He did that Moments of Love shit. And it was three of us beatboxing, and he beat us with the Moments of Love joint, yo.
That's crazy.
Those were the days, man. Yeah, crazy. Yo, Mikey D, man, thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate you, man, and much success to you, man. And when everything drops, I'll definitely tap in and hit you up.
Oh, I'm about to send you some stuff right now, straight to the phone. You got an iPhone. You know how we do.
Oh yeah, do that, definitely.
By the way, yo, I'm gonna tell you early. We got me and Bumpy Knuckles got something coming out.
I saw you post that on Facebook yesterday. I saw that. I'm gonna hit you up so you can follow me on the socials and everything. But but I saw you post that and I was like, all right, I gotta tune into that too. Definitely. Yeah. All right, Mikey D. Yo, stay up, my brother.
All love, baby.
All right, peace.
Peace.